Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. As usual, life can be a little bit miserable, life can be a little bit dark, so we are here to bring you as much light and as much joy as we possibly can. Just me this week. Stu's not been playing anything new. I've not really been playing anything new. I've had a busy few days. Stu's had a busy few days, so just going to record a little bit now, just, so we can keep up the streak of getting something out every week. It's a weird one. There seems to be, we mentioned it last week, that there's a bit of a lull in indie releases and everything at the moment, especially stuff I'm really interested in at the right price. So, go back through some old stuff, really. I been playing a bit of Forza on and off, but I also picked up, a little while back, NBA 2K26. Because it's generally cheap at the moment, so when it drops down below £8, I'll pick it up. It's basketball's a game I like playing digitally, way back from the early NBA Jam days, and even earlier on the Atari, on the rubbish basketball games that you get now. Anyway, I generally find about the £8-9 mark is generally okay for those, especially as someone who doesn't play online or doesn't get involved with all the virtual currencies. I just like to put it on, play a season mode, pick a team and play through a season, maybe even just play some single player games with them, and that's it. So at the moment I thought, pick this one up and I'll do some WNBA. Really good fun game, playing as the Las Vegas Aces and making my way through a regular season with them. And as always, the general gameplay is fantastic. It plays. I still think it's one of the best sports simulations on the market today. I don't think it's been touched by anything really, and it nails it. And even at its base settings now, it's a playable game. I'm playing it at like a pro level, and so not the highest difficulties or anything. I still want to have fun, but feel like a basketball game. And it does that really well. It's an interesting thing. I would like to see more of these companies, whether it's 2K, EA, anyone like that, really now. Go, look, we've got a core group who want to play Ultimate Team or whatever the NBA, like the 2K versions are, whatever the eFootball versions are. We've got this core group who want to play that. They want to deal with all the loot boxes. They want to deal with all the currencies. They want to be the best in the world. But we've also got a group of players who just want to play a good sports game. I would like to see them split it. Look at what they could do. Can they charge 20 quid, for example, for the online version where they're raking in lots of money, and then maybe 30 quid for the offline version, which is literally just your regular seasons, your GM stuff, all stuff like that. It's completely offline. None of that VC or loot box crap that goes with it. Split it down the middle. And of course, for those who do want both, do a deal. Hook them in that way. Go, look, if you want both, instead of being 50 quid, I realise prices will be higher than that, but instead of being 50 quid, you will get it at this amount off. So instead of paying 20 or 30, you pay 17 and 27. So you save £6. Something like that, just, for those who want both. But that way, I'm not having to go to offline mode with it to avoid all the VC crap with NBA, and I can just enjoy the experience I want. Other people can enjoy the experience they want. I think it's time to have a look at these games now and see how they're presented and what people want from them. But if you want a good basketball game, runs well on Steam Deck as well, slightly lower graphics. NBA 2K26, I still think is one of the best of the last, 5-6 years of all the basketball games. And another game I went back to, which surprised me, and I bounced off it, I think, on console days, and it was sitting there in my library, is Ghost Recon, Wildlands. I don't have any special versions of that or anything like that. I think I just got the basic version, possibly in a sale or bundle or something like that ages ago. Chucked it on as something I thought, for a nice throwaway game, play it for a little bit and get rid. And again, these are games, I think, when you go back to older games, I'm saying older, it is old now, 2017 this came out, so it's nearly a decade old. But when Wildlands came out, it was amongst that time where I think everyone was getting maybe a bit burnt out of Ubisoft style games, war games, all that kind of thing. It was just flooding the market. Now going back and reappraising it with today's mindset, where you are just totally sort of like hamstrung with features and stuff now. Lots of stuff is taken out so they can do it as a live service and stuff. This actually feels like a feature complete game. You've got a large map, you go in, it's typical Ubisoft style, you've got to take over all the different areas, that kind of thing. And it is geared towards online co-op, but it's decent in single player as well. But the sense of being, the sense of exploration, the different ways you can approach each mission is really, really good. It's really fun. So I make a lot of use of my drone, and I use it to pick out targets, stay back and let my squad mates go and stealthily take things out. I done a recent mission which involved me breaking into a complex that was well heavily guarded. And there was like this tension meeting going on where you had two opposing forces who were there, but they were sort of like on a mini truce, I suppose, and they was like potentials are high. I was able to go and create a diversion that started them attacking each other, let them take each other out, and I picked off the bone so I can then get in and complete the mission without any real trouble. And it's really good. It works that way. And what I think this does well, something that a lot of games don't do, is if you do stir the hornet's nest and people start hunting you, they don't just go about their dailies. They are on a heightened sense. They found a dead body. They know something's going on. So they are on a heightened sense for the rest of that mission. And it works really well like that. And what it does well is this smoke and mirrors thing in games that era and before done really well. It's just this whole wider world that's going on. But it seems to only come alive when you're involved. So there seems to be an area around where you are where the game comes to life. So, again, you do a mission. If you call something to happen during a mission that's within that area, they are acted upon whilst you're still there. So whilst you're still active there, people go about reacting to what you're doing. You disappear to another part of the world or come back much, much later. Then obviously things are settled down and it's all there. But the rest of the world seems like nothing's actually going on. But where you're localised, and when I say localised, I don't mean just like within a small circle. It's a fairly decent radius of where you are. There are actions and reactions to everything you do. And it works really well. The different toys you get and all things like that. And it's stuff we're starting to miss in games. And it's stuff that back then where it wasn't a sense on hyper-realism, where you get Unreal Engine 5 coming into Unreal Engine 6, where we're looking for, is it photorealistic? We need ray tracing, we need this, we need that, we need all these different kinds of things. It's not worried about that. It's worried about what can we do to make your world that you're in feel something, feel good. And we're losing that in games now. And even the AAA stuff back then felt like a AAA game. It felt like it had money that was pumped into it. And it was create a great experience. Now, I don't think it's the best of the Ghost Recon games. I don't think it was the best game of its time or anything like that. Not even close. But it's compared to what we're getting today, it's a fun game. And it's interesting now that I've got to go, right, I don't really have the money to spend on lots of new games. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to reappraise a lot of these older ones. And it's this era now. I think the era between maybe 2010 to 2020, I think you've got an era of games there that I think we're going to look back on now more fondly than what we did when we originally played them. And this is a great example of that. Yeah, it's interesting. I like this lull where everyone seems to be scared a little bit of Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm not bothered by Grand Theft Auto 6. So I've got a whole library that I'm going to go back, try out. If they stick, they stick. If they don't, they don't. I got them cheap, or I can get them cheap. So yeah, that's what I'll do. But yeah, if you've got a library, especially digital on PC, go back. Have a look at some of the older games you maybe only slightly glanced at or played very, very briefly. Go and enjoy them again. realise how good we did have it compared to the state the industry's in now. Really just a bit of not a rant session for me, but more just a spewing of one's thoughts to bridge a gap. So, only a short podcast this week, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depends how long it takes me to outro. So, all the stew bits, like and subscribe. If you like what we're doing, please do. Give us a follow on Patreon. We need to keep the lights on. It is getting more expensive, and we don't do ads. We never will do ads. We'd rather shut down than be beholden to sponsors and stuff like that. So even if you could do £1 a month via our Patreon, or you can use Ko-Fi, whatever it is, do that. Give us a follow on Blue Sky. You can listen to the podcast, obviously, however you're listening to it, but it is, it's available on all podcast suppliers. It's available on YouTube as well if you want to get it from there. Nothing's paywalled. Nothing ever will be paywalled. But if you can help us, give us a help. If you can't, just continue enjoying. Thank you very much, and hopefully back to normal next week.